The Honourable Mark Patterson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and may I start by congratulating the Finance Minister in stewarding inflation down to 2.2%, that absolutely vital component in turning our economy round. And of course it is this week that we celebrate 1 year since the election and a return from those dark, dark days when New Zealand First was not represented in this House. And boy, could we see it from the mess that we came back to. There was a Labour Party that was adrift, bereft of ideas, an economy in ruins, inflation rampant, a revolving door of ministers. Even their own Prime Minister had abandoned ship on them. And as evidenced, not much has changed in the last 12 months, although I must say Carmel Sepuloni has been quite entertaining on Celebrity Treasure Island. And indeed, it might be contagious. The Greens have had also had a shocking year, a revolving door of MPs, and in fact, if we could hook a turbine up to it, it could be one of the largest renewable energy projects in the country, and they've been far too weak and indecisive to eject a member from their own party. God help us if they end up in power at some stage in the future. But enough of them. We've had our sleeves rolled up. Our leader, the Right Honourable Winston Peters, has been out re-engaging New Zealand in the world, particularly with our neighbours in the Pacific, and rebuilding our relationships with her foreign partners and allies in these very difficult geopolitical times. Casey Catsello is busy delivering in the 500 extra police we won in the coalition agreement. For our seniors, Customs, he's got them purring. They've just massive hauls of drugs at the border, and yes, delivering sensible smoking cessation policies. Shane Jones, and to a more modest degree and more self-effacing degree myself, have been out on the regions. We're delivering the gospel of growth, out with our sleeves rolled up at regional growth summits up and down the country. In fact, the Matua is in Gisborne today, preparing for tomorrow's summits. And so we're not going to bow to the naysayers. The can't-do attitude that had prevailed, the red and green tape that we're sweeping away the impediments to growth, jobs and investment. This fast-track legislation that we have been instrumental in encouraging our coalition partners to bring forward will be the single most significant piece of legislation that we bring forward in this House. These 149 projects, the 58,000 homes, the 43 infrastructure projects, 22 Scott Willis renewable energy projects, 11 mining projects, and yes, we do need mining and extraction in this country, and we are not afraid to back that industry. 8 quarries. How can you build roads and infrastructure if you don't have quarries? So that is our big push to develop regional New Zealand and kickstart this regional and national economy. The Regional Infrastructure Fund, the $1.2 billion Regional Development Fund, energy, water storage, wharves and renewable energy. We will be delivering those projects. We will be co-investing in enabling projects to once again kick-start this economy. You can see the lens and the influence that we have had on this government. And it does build on our proud history of the Provincial Growth Fund, that $3 billion fund that we had in our last term in Parliament here, the 52nd. It has delivered everything from the largest mussel farm in the world to that deprived region up in Opotiki. Jobs, growth, hope up there for once, to actually reinstating the hillside workshops that have been closed down as we support a return to engineering and manufacturing in its heartland of South Dunedin. So we have taken our country back in this last 12 months. Back to basics, reading, writing and maths at school, back to growth, back to an economy that can deliver first world jobs, first world education and first world healthcare. We're only 1 year in, There's much to do, but we're well on the way, and we will deliver on our promises from 12 months ago. Thank you.